Hey everybody, movie review next story here, and I'm back with another review. And this time I saw The Fugitive. This is a thriller film directed by Andrew Davis from 1993, and it stars Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, Joe Pantoliano, Urine Krab, uh, and Julianne Moore. In this film, wrongfully convicted of murdering his wife and sentenced to death, Richard Kimball escapes from the law in an attempt to find the real killer and clear his name. So, what did I think of The Fugitive? Well, I don't know. I feel like subconsciously I might have put this off because it seems like one of those movies that gets overhyped a lot. People even going as far as to say it's one of the best action films of all time. I'm nowhere closer to admitting that. Same for films like The Bourne Identity or the Bourne series. People bring them up a lot, mostly the first three. Um, but again, I wouldn't call this like a great action film, but as a thriller, I do think it's really well done. Um, but yeah, let me get to the cast. Harrison Ford plays Richard Kimball. He's a doctor. He's again wrongfully convicted of this crime. Harrison Ford, great actor. Love him in Indiana Jones. Love him in Regarding Henry, Star Wars. Again, everybody knows who Harrison Ford is. He does a great job here. Tommy Lee Jones plays Samuel Gerard. He's a U.S. Marshal after Kimball. I love Tommy Lee Jones as well. Men in Black. Yeah, everybody knows Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones won a Best Actor at the Oscars for this film. And while I won't say I think his performance is that good, I do think he does a good job in the film. He's fun to watch, has a bit of a sense of humor to him, a little bit sly, a bit slick. I like Tommy Lee Jones in those types of roles. And also, they might have been using stunt doubles, but there are some decently impressive stunts that are involving his and Harrison Ford's characters. Um, Joe Pantoliano plays Cosmo Renfro. He's Samuel's partner. Uh, he's he's Joe Pantoliano. He's character actor. He does a good job. Joran Krab plays Charles Nichols, a doctor friend of Richard's. Um, he's fine, I guess. Excuse me. Joran Krab. People might remember him from The Living Daylights. He's one of the main villains, and one of my issues with that film was that he didn't get enough to do in it because they're splitting screen time between him and what's his name? Shit. Just a second. Jodan Baker. When Jodan Baker is apparently supposed to be your main villain, but he doesn't have a lot of time for himself either. But he does a good job in the film. And Julianne Moore plays Anne Eastman. She's a worker at this hospital that Richard ends up going in. She's a small cameo, but this is early in Julianne Moore's career. Her acting wasn't as bad as I expected because she's one of those actresses, along with like Sandra Bullock, that I would say didn't reach their peak until like late 90s, early 2000s, when they started to get better at acting. Especially Sandra Bullock's early roles like The Vanishing, Two If by Sea, like her early to mid 90s acting roles. I don't think she's that good in a lot of them. Um, but yeah, this is a landmark film. People love it. It's got a 3.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That means people really like it. I've heard this referred to as a dad movie. I don't care for those types of silly names. But I can I did genuinely enjoy this film quite a bit. Um, you'd expect it to have a pacing issues since it came in at 2 hours and 11 minutes. Um, and not a lot of it's wasted by credits. Um, this was back when movies didn't have 10 to 15-minute long credit sequences. Um, but yeah, story's very simple. Again, Richard Kimball escapes uh, a prison bus in order to clear his name. A lot of I was gonna say wacky hijinks, but this film does try to stay very grounded in reality. The only like kind of crazy thing that happens in terms of like stakes in this film is the a train gets derailed and almost hits Richard. It's also the one that hits the prison bus they're on, which was a very well done sequence. Andrew Davis definitely knows what he's doing in terms of action. He's directed quite a few other films. He did Holes, Under Siege, Chain Reaction, The Guardian with Kevin Costner, Collateral Damage with Arnold, Code of Silence, The Package, also with Tommy Lee Jones, which I wouldn't mind watching. Above the Law with Steven Seagal, um, and A Perfect Murder, which I genuinely really liked. That was kind of a pseudo remake of Dial M for Murder, the Alfred Hitchcock film. Um, but I definitely think Andrew Davis knows what to do in terms of tension and in terms of building suspense. Um, Again, the performances in this film very solid. Uh, the musical score by James Newton Howard, very accomplished composer, very nice to listen to score that doesn't get in the way of everything. Um, Again, the pacing, given that it's over 2 hours, is still pretty remarkable. It never got boring to me. Um, but yeah, if you go into this film expecting an action film, I can understand you being a little bit pressed, being like, I thought this was an action film. Because again, the only real set piece is the train near the beginning, which, again, very impressive stunt work, very impressive staging, camera work. There's cameras inside the bus as it's moving. Really cool. Um, and again, it's a twist movie, and I think the twist is well done. I think they do it decently enough where I thought I knew where this film was going, but it didn't really go in that direction. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of things that I actively disliked. I guess I kind of wish there was a bit more time spent with Richard and his wife before she gets killed because her death is shown in the opening credits. Like, and then you get small flashbacks with Celia Ward, who, again, good actress. I don't see her in a lot. She's pretty high up in the billing on this film though. She's billed after either after Joe Pantoliano or Tommy Lee Jones, which is odd because she's in terms of screen time in maybe 2 minutes of the film. It's mostly flashbacks and the same scenes being played over again. There's like one bit at a soiree or them driving home, but like she does not have a lot of time in this film. Um, but yeah, other than that, and I don't know, maybe throw in another action sequence that could have been fun. Because most of the action sequences are like, again, chasing. This is a chase movie. But in terms of chase movies, I think the tension is done well. Again, the acting sells the situations. And again, Tommy Lee Jones is. I don't know if I'd say this is hamming it up, but he is clearly having fun with the role. But yeah, definitely a recommend. But yeah, that was my review of The Fugitive. If you have any thoughts on what I said. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And like, subscribe, whatever, and movie reviewer next door out.